All right, I made it to the Buffalo River Trail parking area, and I'm heading across the street over to the trail. Okay, so here I am at the trailhead. There's a sign right here saying Buffalo River Trail 11.1 to Ponca. All right, so I kind of ended last night pretty abruptly. So I wanted to kind of catch you all back up and let you know what happened. So I didn't talk a whole lot once I got to that campground because the campground was full. People everywhere, and I didn't really want to interrupt anybody. So the situation yesterday, I tried to go and stop at the outfitter where I had planned to do the shuttling, and I tried to sign up for that yesterday so I didn't have to deal with it this morning because they didn't open until 8 a.m. They didn't want to do that. They said they would if they had to, but they really didn't want to do that until the day I started hiking. So they wanted me to come back at 8 a.m. And again, they wouldn't shuttle people. They only move your vehicles. So I would have had to pay them $100, drive myself to this parking lot, leave my truck here. I had to give them a spare key, and they would come and get it and move it to the other end. And I don't know, I didn't love the whole idea. But so I'm at the campground, and I was back of my truck just kind of cooking and setting stuff up. And here come the guy that worked there, the camp host. And I saw him walking towards me. I thought, maybe I'm not supposed to park here or something. And he said, what kind of cell provider do you have? Who's your cell carrier? Because I had been talking on the phone for a while since I'm on trail, we're going to call her Water Girl. And he's like, I don't ever see people on the phone that much where it works. So I told him the AT&T was my provider. And we got to talking for a bit, and I was telling him what I was doing, and he's like, well, I'll give you a ride over there, and that's where there's some elk viewing in the Boxley Valley. So he said maybe my wife will even want to come. So they were waiting for me this morning, all ready to go when I was ready, and they were so kind. So thank you, Don and Joan, for giving me a ride over here. So what I did was I left my truck at the campground, because that campground is actually on the Buffalo River Trail, and it's just 2 miles from the end. So I'm not exactly sure what I'll do at the end there. I'll probably go past, leave my stuff at the truck, or maybe do just the 2 mile out and 2 mile back, or I'll figure that out when I get there. Anyway, we did not see any elk this morning, but I am ready to get to walking here. So I need to stop videoing and make sure I'm on the right track. All right, not a great sign. I got off the trail before I ever got started. Not very far, only 30 feet or so. But if I would have been paying attention, there was an arrow on the sign to go to the right where the trail kind of looked like it went straight down into the riverbed. So the road is just right back there. And there was a little trail down into the riverbed instead of coming on the trail behind me. One other thing I wanted to tell y'all is, man, I was kind of chilly last night. And I thought the low was supposed to be 60 degrees. Joan, the camp host, was telling me that it was 45 degrees where we were. In Jasper, it was 60. But because of the valley we were in, it was just a lot colder. So this is interesting. Down this road, there's a big sign that says not the hiking trail. Here we go. The BRT, Buffalo River Trail, headed this way. All right, I'm only 0.7 in, and I just now stopped to take my mid layer off. I'm gonna go and get a drink of goodness, and this is just water with Mio. And man, so far it's been pretty. You know, one thing that when I got dropped off for the Foothills Trail, my long section hike last year on the AT, my AT through hike this year, I always had this feeling of like being unnerved or unsettled. Like when you first get dropped off in the middle of nowhere. You know, I didn't get that this time. I feel like I'm home. This is nice. It's beautiful too. It's just beautiful. The yellows and the oranges. The trail has been mostly clearly visible. There have been a good bit of spots where it's moderately well maintained, but there's definitely undergrowth going over the trail and on the edges, but none of it's really been an issue. So far, about 1.5 in, and it's been very pleasant. The first mile or so is a slight uphill the whole way, but not bad. The trail's pretty well marked. There's been quite a few blazes that have the BRT Buffalo River Trail on it. All right, so about 1.9 or so, just under 2 miles into the trail, you come to a road walk, and I believe it's going to be a half-mile road walk. So I was the first one to sign the log this morning at the trailhead. No one else had signed since the last Saturday. People could still be here without signing the log, but I haven't seen anyone. It just came up on that ice. It's no way that would still be here. So someone is not very far in front of me and just dumped out some ice. If I don't see anybody, that would be weird. It'd be cool if there's an ice maker in the woods, huh? All right, one thing I don't think I covered, I mentioned that I was hiking from Boxley to Pruitt, so that makes me going eastbound, or Ebo, I guess. So I did pass just a little bit ago a couple going Webo, or westbound, and they told me there was a guy up ahead. I just passed him at a water source. The water source wasn't great, but it was enough to get water, and that was the first one. I'm about 3.6 or 3.8, I think, into the trail, and that was the first. The stream was not flowing, but there was a pool big enough to get water. There was a guy there doing an out and back. He said he's going to make it just shy of Ponca probably, which is only another 8.5 or so, I think, from here. And then go back to his car tomorrow. He did say that he saw the ice as well, and there was someone else ahead of me still. So there are some people out here. It's a beautiful weekend. It's Saturday, so that's good. For any of you that are watching and planning a through hike or just a hike at all on the Buffalo River Trail, if you have Far Out, you know, the app is free. This map is only $4.99 on Far Out, and so far I'm trying to remember to put comments on all of the water sources as to whether or not there's water or not, because most of them, I believe, even though there are water sources, they're currently dry. Oh man, this is pretty though. Oh, this looks like a nice camp spot here. Somebody even left a cast iron skillet. It's break time, I believe. Definitely got to be break time. About 6.2 miles in for the day. And I'm going to take a break and have a candy bar. Okay, so I stopped 0.1 back for that break, but this is the actual spot that is on Gut Hook. There's a nice soft spot there. The place back there was pretty rocky. It looks like you can easily fit 2. If you really like each other, probably 3 small backpacking tents in there. Nice little fire ring. And I've not been over here yet, but there's supposed to be a view of the valley below. About 50 feet maybe, I don't remember how far, not far at all, past that last spot. And there's another beautiful spot here. And someone again has made 4 beautiful stone seats. Nice fire ring, there's actually 2 rings, both covered in leaves, haven't been used in a while. But there is room for quite a few tents in here. This is a good spot. It's not even noon though. I gotta keep on going. All right, the trail comes from this way, and as I was coming down, this big, flat, beautiful spot covered in leaves goes way back there. I was thinking, man, you could easily fit 100 tents there, and that's no exaggeration. It goes back beyond those pines a ways. Then I got right here, and there's a sign that says, private land, don't leave the trail. So I don't suppose you could camp here after all. However, there is water in the creek here, and several spots. It actually is flowing a little bit. I see a spot right down here where it's flowing. It's not more than a couple inches deep, but definitely the best water source I've seen so far. I'm supposed to hit the Buffalo River in just under 3 miles, and I still have plenty of water to get there, so I'm not gonna fill up yet. All right, so here's the trail, and just to the left, on Gut Hook, this is listed as a cave. It looks more just like, I guess, a rocky sinkhole. As far as I can tell, it doesn't go in there very far. But it's maybe, just for perspective, it's probably on the back end from the top here to the bottom. I bet it's 14 feet or so. Neat feature, even nonetheless. I think I've only got 3/4 of a mile or so to get to the Buffalo River. I'm getting almost out of water, so I'm gonna fill up on water and probably take a break down by the river. No. All right, stopped here for a break, got some water, filled up both liters, had a bar. Talked to some guys that were finishing their hike. They came out of the woods about the same time. They were set out to do a little longer hike, but this was their first time out, and they had some questions about some gear. And if you guys ever watch this, get some different gear and try this again. It's a lot of fun. All right, I've done 11 miles so far today, and I got quite a few more to go, so I better get to hiking. So that's the Buffalo River down below. It's pretty deep in places there. Water was good and clear. Drank the rest of what I had a few other drinks, and then filled up 2 liters. I could probably have just not gotten much and tried to count on getting some of this campground that's 2 miles up, but I don't want to chance it as dry as it's been. So I went ahead and filled up all the water, and because I don't know what I'm doing as far as how far I'm going to go today, really. I've kind of got some ideas of what I may like to do as far as mileage, but I don't know where that puts me staying. It doesn't put me in any of the designated like Forest Service campgrounds. So I don't know, I'm just gonna keep walking and I'll start thinking about it when I get to be 4 p.m. and with a goal of maybe trying to be at a camp spot somewhere between 5 and 6. Sunset right now I think is like 6:27. It's a pretty clear day, so it'll put us have daylight till about 7 o'clock. Man, this is beautiful. It's just a little overlook area right next to the trail. That water, it's hard to tell from up here, but I think there are spots it's multiple feet deep, and I don't know if you surely can't see. There were a bunch of little shad jumping down there. You can see the flickering in the sunlight a minute ago. I didn't capture too much of that back there because I've been passing a bunch of day hikers and there are people there. But now I'm along another one of these cliffs that's kind of reminiscent of yesterday, except this is not a very steep drop. But it's cool nonetheless. About a 50-yard side trail, it looks like, down to the Steel Creek campground. So I'm gonna go ahead and come over and take a look. That's a big place. I went over there, checked out the facilities, and there was a lady with a dog that I saw at that last bridge, and the dog had gotten to a pygmy rattler, and it looked like he got bit. It wouldn't put his foot on the ground. It was swelling. So I told her there's a Facebook group that has vets that will give real-time advice on treatment and whatnot, but they said that it was the way that I came about a half mile back, and I did not see it. So hopefully it is off the trail, and hopefully I don't have any encounters with any venomous snakes or anything further. But poor dog. Whew. Hopefully it'll be okay. Hopefully they can find somewhere some anti-venom, and it's expensive, but should be fine. It was a pretty good sized dog, and it was on the foot, so anyway, painful for that little guy, but anyway, enough about that. All right, so I've done 12.8 so far, and I need to do at least a few more. Not really sure yet. I need to stop in a little bit and kind of come up with a plan for the rest of my day. But I guess for now I need to be a little higher alert for snakes. This looks a lot like where I hiked yesterday. Man, this just doesn't do it justice. It's such a huge valley down below, and the sun on those stone vertical walls on the other side. It's been a pretty trail. So I did see 2 girls camping. That was the only people I've seen so far, like setting up camp. Just east of them, I did see 2 sets of 2 backpackers going west. And I talked to the ones, and they said they were trying to push towards That last campground that I was at, I stopped out for a minute, Steel Trap Campground. So hopefully they can get in there. And I'm trying to get another 2.5 miles to give me 18.5 for the day. There was a comment that up this big climb, next big climb, there's a campsite and cell service and a pond. So I'm gonna see how that looks. It's not a campsite like with cars and all that. It's just a backcountry spot that someone's used before. But it's already 4:30. Sunset's at 6:30, so I have time to get there, but I won't have a lot of time before dark once I do get there. All right, there's a little murky pond. I looked at the water. It doesn't look fit to drink. As I was walking up here to where this campsite is, I saw through the woods a whole bunch of deer, at least probably 6 of them, running away from here. Looks like there's plenty of places to put tents, and looks like no one else is here. So I'm gonna camp here for the night, and with this pond here as dry as it's been, I'm assuming I'm going to have visitors tonight, trying to get drinks of water. Oh my goodness. It's been a day. I've done about 18.5 miles. I'm setting up my tent now, and I've been struggling the last little bit. I didn't have enough water today. I started getting really lightheaded. I don't have enough water to cook dinner really and drink, I don't think. I've got about 1 liter total, so I'm probably just gonna eat some bars for dinner. I had some candy and drank almost 1 liter of water. I'm feeling better now, but I'm definitely still a little bit off. I think I'm less than 3 miles from the Buffalo River in the morning, so I'll be able to drink a bunch, camel up there, so I'll be fine in the morning. I'm at this little camp spot here. It's a big opening, basically. There's no one else here, so I'm here by my lonesome. The sun, I think, is setting now, so I'm running out of daylight. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to set my tent the rest of the way up and getting situated, and I hope to get a good night's sleep. And I never sleep as good when I'm completely by myself, but we'll see. I do have cell service, so that's good. All right, so this has been a wrap for day 1, 18.5 miles. On far out, this is listed, it's at 18.5, I think, or 0.6 eastbound miles. And it's listed as a pond and tent site. The water in the pond, no bueno for me to drink. All right, well, I hope I don't get too many visitors through the night from wildlife trying to get water from the pond. Have a good night, everybody. See you tomorrow.